to my channel. This is Olivia, and how are you doing? In today's video, I want to share with you 5 different ways to color flower. And as you know, in coloring book there is tons and tons of flower. For example, John Hannah Basford's book, or Hannah Calzone, or Maria Troll. They have so many flowers in their book, and often if like we don't know a lot of different ways to color flower, it get really boring and it make our page look a little bit flat. So I hope that I can help you a little bit, that so the next time when you color flowers you have more different choices to color in them. And I will just use one colors with different tone, and you can use this method for any colors of any flower you like. You can use for red, for orange, for blue flowers, yellow flowers, any color of your choice, but I will show you the pink one. And as you can see here, this is just like a quick sketch. I will demonstrate in a big one for you. And as you can see, they are just changing the light area in the petal of the flowers. And even though these are all done with the same colors and the same pencils, they have completely different look to them. And of course I think there is of course more way to do flowers, but I just gonna show you 5 ways today, 5 main one that I find quite easy to do even though you're a beginner. And all you really need is, of course, you can do like flower with a lot of colors if you want to, but I will show you the basic one where you will need just one color but you need different tones. So for example, I pick here is kind of like a pink colors, so I want a dark color, a medium color, and the light color of that tone of the shade. So here I using the Prismacolor to demonstrate, because I know a lot of people have Prismacolor, and I will put all the colors that I use in the description box underneath the video, so make sure you check it out if you want to have the color combinations. So I use a magenta as darkest color, the hot pink is a middle color, and you can use either for the pink, this pink here I use a deco pink as the lightest color, but you can also use white as well, and I will use white for this tutorial, because white you can pretty much use as a light color. For any other color, blue, yellow, you can use a white. And of course you gonna need a yellow. You can use white, but I will show you a way that you can use the light yellow, really light yellow, to use as the lightest color in your color combinations. Is I highly recommend you use the green. And if you use a polychrome ivory, is a great light yellow. Is really close to the white, but it is a hint of a yellow. And you can use the cream or the ivory for the polychrome. For Prismacolor there is a cream colors, and also you can use a deco yellow as well. And for my tutorial I will use this yellow to shading in. You can use it to shade, to replace the white or the lightest yellow. For example, you can replace it with the deco pink. You don't have to use the deco pink if you don't want to. You can use the yellow, the light yellow, just to make it a little bit interesting. So that's a few of my tip. Or you can use a deco yellows as well. It's a little bit light, more darker than the green, but it's still the light yellow, and in this color that I'm gonna use for the tutorial today is really easy to find in any set of pencil. It's very basic color, and I want you to have a really light and bright green. For example, for the Prismacolor, I like to use the chartreuse the chartreuse green, or you can use apple green, you can use spring green. They all Prismacolor. And I think for the polychroma you can use sort of like a leaf green as well. And so let's start with our first white of the chartreuse flowers. So the first flower I will show you, the flower will have the gradient from dark to light first, and you're just going with your darkest color, darkest tones of darkest shade of the colors of your choice. For example, here is I use some magenta, and you just quite gently, I would say just medium, go with your medium. Always start with your medium because it's easier to erase if you make a mistake, and it give you more room to put on top of another color. And as you can see, I do it quite like a flick motion, flick motion, because it gives you more of organic look than just very straight light of transitions. And I think it gives your flowers a little bit more character, it more natural looking, and I think it's nice that way. And as you can see, for I use with the hot pink earlier just to blend out the magenta, and then you can either use deco pink, or you can use a white one just to blend out, so we make the lightest area is very close to the middle of the flower, so it's at the end of the flower petal. And once you blend it out, you have your first look of the flower. Is this I think for this one is very basic looking flower. It's quite easy to achieve. I know that a lot of people doing this way. It's just a step up from just doing one block of the color. Instead of just doing one color, you do a gradient. And for gradient you have a few different types of gradient you can do. For this one, I do from the light to dark, and the lightest color is close to the middle of the flower. And the second way, when I do it, it's gonna be the opposite way. And for just that technique, you can get two different looking flower, even though you're using this exactly the same pencils. And I think it's quite interesting looking. It's just less boring, and I know it's quite easy for you to achieve, even though you are not you even like beginner and you never do a flower before. And as you can see, it's make the flower look like it bloom outward, and the middle is the largest area, and it's really nice. So earlier I did say you can use the light yellow for instead of the white. You can exactly do that in this case. You don't have to use a white like I did. And now for the second flower here, I just repeating the step, but instead of we have the light area in the close to the middle of the flower, you have the lightest color on the tip of the petal. So it's different. Also, I will use flick motion. I usually use flick motion for flower petal because it's just nice that way. And if you have a bigger petal of the flower, you can use more colors as well. So you can include in the deco pink, you can blend from the magenta, hot pink, deco pink, and then white for the lightest color. And of course you can instead use white, you can use a cream again. It's really easy, and this cream color work well with any color you have. It can work with the blue, as the red, any color that you decide to do with your flower. You don't have to just use the yellow with the pink. And when you do flick motion, I feel like it's easier to blend the color that not supposed to be with, like not supposed to blend with each other, because sometimes the colors like pink and purple and yellow, for example, can make a muddy brown. But if you do flick motion, it will mimic the blend, and it will help you to have the blend looking more natural, and it won't creating a muddy brown. It will help you in that sort of way. So I will highly recommend you using stroke motion when you're doing flower petal. That's why you don't have to have the limit of the color choices. You can put any color next to each other and don't have to worry about it's gonna, creating a brown color. Nobody want a brown flower. It's gonna just look like not very nice looking. So yeah, is the first one, and the second one is really easy. You just kind of swap them around, and I will show you a little trick for the second style that we're doing with the second flower. It just give it a little bit of touch. It make the flower pop even more, because for this flower we have the darkest area is in the middle of the flower, so you can use any dark brown that you have. For example, here I use the espresso color, the espresso in the Prismacolor, and I just do very close to the end of the flower petal. And the reason why I don't do it with the first flower where the dark color is at the tip of the flower is because at the tip of a flower you don't really want to add like a dark brown that it look like the flower is dying. So I don't add the brown there. But when you do the opposite way, where the dark colors is at the bottom of the flower petal, you can adding a little bit of dark brown. I would highly recommend dark brown over black color. You can add black color, but like gently, like even with the brown color that I'm using now, do it quite gently. And as you can see, it just give it an extra depth to your flowers, and it look like the flower is really deep. The flower go really deep inside the middle, and it just look nice that way. It just have an extra depth, and later when you add in the color for the middle of the flower, it will look a heaps better. So I would like to add it in just a tiny bit, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. You can try to add it with the other way, but yeah, I wouldn't do that because it just look too muddy for me. But yeah, that's for the second way. It look exactly how I wanted, and it's really nice. And for the third flower, the lightest area I decided to do is in the middle. And this way, I think a lot of you will see other colorists doing before. I use this way as well, but usually I don't do it very often, because for me, this way the light shading is look a little bit of cartoonish, and you can use it. It just sometimes it's work for me, sometimes it's doing. And as you can see, I put the darkest color at a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom, and then I going with the middle color, which is a hot pink, and leave a little bit of the white area in the middle, and you can go in with the white color. I usually go with white for this method. I like with the white because it just maximize the the brightness of the area you want to let the light, the sunshine hitting the flower petal, and it can create a really beautiful look. For this, make sure you do the light ring, the white ring have to be one circle. You don't have to like exactly like the same area in each of the petal, but it's like kind of like connecting a little bit. The light area is kind of like connecting, and it just, I don't know, it's look really nice. And it's one of my favorite way to do when you have a page that just have so many flowers, that in one page like that in John Hannah Bass's first book, the Ivy in the Inky Butterfly, I think. And I done this technique with that page with a cheaper set of pencil, and it looks really colorful and it look really interesting. So you can absolutely use this method. It's just really fun to do this way, even though it's look a little bit of like a cartoon style, but I still like it. Make sure with this way you have to be careful with how much the dark color you add, like just adding a tiny bit. Don't bring it into the middle too much, then you don't have room for other colors. And I would like to at least add the middle color in just for the blending. The white is a little bit more smooth than just really dark color and jumping straight into the white, it look a little bit flat. And so this why I really like it. Yeah, but not for every flower that I do. I usually do gradient. This one is kind of like a gradient as well, but it's like very extra gradient. So I hope you like this new video that I coming out at the moment. I'm gonna do one for leaves as well. At the end of this video, I'm gonna show you how you can different way to color it in the middle of the flower. What is the English word for that? I kind of forgot what it is. Someone told me. I'm sure someone told me before. And yeah, I don't have a lot of ways to color the middle of the flower, but for quite simple way to do, I have a few, like about 3 or 4 different way to do them with just a few pencil, and I will show that to you really quickly at the end of this video as well, so you can have some fun with it. Sometimes it gets boring just to like when you don't know. For me at the start, I don't know a lot of way to color flowers as well. I usually just do gradient, like just one set of gradient, but slowly I experimenting and I try new ways, and I look at real flowers. I just interesting, and I try it, and I think it's worked out quite well. And so for the fourth flower, I gonna do a quite different. It look like the first flower where we gonna blend the gradient from dark to light, from the tip of the flower petal to into the middle. And but at the middle of the flower, I'm not gonna blend with white or the light color like the deco pink. I gonna give you a completely different look, and this way I got it from looking at a lot of real flower photos, because I will show you when we get there. So very simple, just like the first flower we did. You're gonna start it with the really dark colors at the start, which is magenta in this case, and I'm gonna go in with the pink, hot pink. uh, this color, it really confused me, because at the start I was like, hot pink is gonna be like neon color, but it's not. It's actually really light blush baby pink, and I love it. And as you can see, I leave a little bit of white area in the middle, like right at the bottom of the flower. And now I'm gonna go in with the light green. Any bright light green will do. In this case, I use the chartreuse color, and you just add in a tiny bit. And if you pay attention, I still leave a little bit of white, the gap, and then you're going with a green color. I would highly recommend you goes in with the green color. Any lightest yellow that you have would work really well. There is exactly the same color in the polychroma cool green as well. You can use that. And as you can see, we just have a hint of the green really close to the bottom of the flowers. And if you look at real flowers, some flowers have exactly the same look. It just shows that maybe the flowers really young, they just start to bloom. It still have a few green, because the flower pop, is that what I call, is usually green color first, and then you're gonna turn to any colors of that flower supposed to be. And this way it gives you a really different look from the first flower. It's like a you have your game stepping up from just normal gradient plane. You adding another colors in, and this combinations of green and like light green and light yellow work absolutely well with any color choice that you have. You can use it on red color, you can use it on yellow flowers, any color, orange, any color that you like, and it gives you a really different look and really nice. So enough talking of that flowers. For the final flower we have here, as I will leave a little bit of white area around the petal. So you can see I go with the shape of the flower petal. So if this flower petal is round, I just use the darkest color just to go like just redraw the shape of the flower, but leave a tiny gap of white area around it. And then you can go in with the middle color, is a hot pink in here. And as you can see, I still leave a little bit of white, and here you can go in with the deco pink. You can go in with the white, or you can go with the green color, which is a light yellow, and you do the same with other colors that you have as well. And as you can see, it's like, I don't know, I don't really know what this method called. This one I just I wouldn't say I invented myself, but I found it myself. I didn't look at any bodies. And as you can see here, I just adding a little bit of yellow, so you can see how much different it look compared to just adding white or just adding the deco pink. And you can of course you can use a white just to blend it out a little bit, make it a little bit more lighter. And I don't know, I think it's look quite dramatic. In fact, it gives a quite dramatic effect with this way. It make the flower petal very plump, very full. It's make it look like very curvy petal, and it's just really interesting in its own way. And of course you can use this one for any flower any shape that you have in the book, and it's give a really interesting look. I use this one sometime. Most of the time I don't remember because I don't have the habit of just leaving the white around object, but when you do it, it just give it an extra light. And for the white area that you left around, you can use the white pencil, just going in and make it not just like lifting the white paper, but it actually have some coloring. I usually don't do that. If I remember, then I do it, but sometimes I don't feel it and I don't do it. And as you can see, it's quite look different. It look quite I don't know, it's look a little bit interesting, quite an interesting look. It look like the flower petal is actually made out of pearls. That's the only thing I can think of. And now I show you how you can do the middle of the flowers. As you can see here, you use a combination of brown. Any brown will do, but you need a dark brown, a light brown. I go with the warm brown. So I have the dark brown here. It's actually called dark brown, Prismacolor, the light brown, and the deco yellow. So that's what I usually use for my combinations of the middle things of the flower. So the first thing, I gonna go from dark to light again. So we're gonna go with the dark brown, really dark in the middle, not in the middle, on the edges of that brown things. And after you're done, you can go in with the light yellow, and it's quite easy. It's not something very special to do, but I have a few different ways to do it, and I think this is the one that I use the most. This way, it just give a little bit of interest to the flower, and even though the flower is blue or orange, I still do the same kind of colors, because when you color in a long time, you have some certain color combination that you really like, and you keep coming back for it from time to time. And for the second one, I go the opposite way. The dark is in the middle, and then I go the light brown, and then the yellow outside. So as you can pay attention, when I do the petal, if the petal of the flower is from dark to light, from the outside in, then I will do the middle of the flower is dark to light, but the opposite way. It's just give you a contrast, an interesting look, so everything of the flower stand out on itself and doesn't look too flat. And so for the third way, I will do the same way as the beginning of the first one, but instead of doing the whole circle, I just do half. So with this flower, it's not work really well, but if you have the flower that the artist kind of draw is on the side of the flower, you can do this way, just look like the sun hitting the flower, and just make it just look a little bit interesting. It just look a little bit different, and you don't have to do this way, but I just kind of like it. I use this method a lot for some flower that is on the angle, that would draw on the angle, and it just make it look like the sun hitting the spot. And of course, you're gonna add some green. So now we're gonna have some green combination. It's not a green combination, it's actually brown, and then you're just adding some kind of like a brownish green, or you can use a really light green as well. So I use the chartreuse again, and the other green, I don't remember what green it is. I think it was kelp green or some or olive green. Yeah, some sort of that color. So as you can see, again, I go with the brown first, the dark brown, and you just go around doing the circle just like the first way we did, and then you going with the olive green, the kind of brownish dark green, and then you're going with the lightest green, because sometimes when it's inside the middle of the flower, you can see it's have like a hint of green, and it's nothing like out ordinary. I don't know if I said that was right. I think I did say it right. Yes, so you can have that way. It's look a little bit like sparkle gems gem looking is. I quite like it. And the last way I would do is the dark color is on the edges and in the middle, and the light color form like a ring in the middle. And it just, as you pay attention, this way I do it just resemble like how I do the petal, where we have the light wiring in the middle of the flower petal. So now we have it in of the thing in the middle. And as you can see now, once I adding in the leaves and the stem, and just adding some white champion sparkle on the flower petals, it look absolutely gorgeous. And I don't know if you like me, but I can really see the difference in all of the flowers, and it's just really interesting. Even though all the flower is the same, you use the same color, but you use different technique, and they give you completely different look. And to show you, I do exactly the same technique, but with the blue one. Blue and pink is very different color. Well, it's not like blue with red or blue no, pink with red. So as you can see again, especially the orange, not the orange, the green and the yellow method that I show you, it worked really well. The flower is quite different shape as well, but it still worked really well for the flower. And if you would like me to have the combination for the blue flower, I will include it in the descriptions box as well, so you can have your blue flower. I really like blue flower. I usually do blue flowers, just adding in a little bit. So yes, I hope you have fun with this video. I hope you learn something new. I hope you have a great time with me. I'm sorry if I talk too much and I sound too exciting for no reason, but I just glad to be back and doing video for you guys. I have a lot to share. I have a lot of video, but I still need time to editing. So if you like this video, please thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, do all those good things. And I will see you very soon in the next video. In the meantime, take care and happy coloring. Bye.